Welcome back to the garden. Well, it's a little colder than the last time. I'm experimenting with seeing my breath. We had hail the last day and a half. That was unexpected, but we're back here with another video, and I wanted to address some questions that I've gotten recently by email and other forms of contact, one of which is how can we practice Buddhism in uncertain times and in our daily life. So right now the temple is closed to visitors. Many of us are required to stay at home, shelter in place. I do encourage you to follow those instructions as it seems like the coronavirus is only spreading more and more. So one of the ways that we can practice at home in our daily life is to think about what it means to be a bodhisattva. And the bodhisattva's practice is for the benefit of others. So a very easy way to give consideration to that type of vow, that type of idea, is to go check on our neighbors. How are our neighbors doing in these times? Have we checked in? Have we asked if they need anything? Do we have elders in our area that are unable to get out to stores? Can we do shopping for them? Do we know how they're doing? Have they heard from anyone? Many people don't have someone to check in on them. So these are very simple ways, right in our own daily life, in our own neighborhood, that we can practice the bodhisattva vow and give consideration to others. It's probably very difficult times. I've heard from a lot of friends who are struggling to juggle the requirements of working from home, which is new for many people. Kids are home from school, so they're taking on homeschooling tasks and doing all of that in sometimes cramped quarters with the inability to go out can become stressful. So one way that we can address some of those issues is make whatever work that we have a lesson for our children. Is there filing, straightening up? Is there some aspect of our job that we can explain to them? I have a friend of the temple here who is a landscaper, very much into botany and flowers. So I encourage that he use botany as a subject for the homeschooling lessons with his daughter. So whatever help she could offer him with sorting seeds, learning about plants and flowers, writing about them, make those topics a lesson for the kid to get them involved in what you're doing. It may be difficult to get them out of your hair, so to speak, but instead of pushing people away, try to bring people in. Another thing we might want to do is resurrect the sometimes forgotten art of letter writing. So we all have probably more time on our hands than we normally do, so this is a good time to pick up pen and paper and write letters to friends. I'm sure in times like this, people would really appreciate getting handwritten cards and notes from friends, people maybe we haven't talked to in a while or reached out to in a long time. This is a great opportunity to reach out to them. It means a lot more than just email or a message in social media. So do reach out and bring that art back. The other reason I'm doing videos like this in the garden is to encourage people to get out, even if it's only a few feet from your door, get some fresh air. As I mentioned, it's a lot colder today than it was the other day when I filmed. But check the weather, get out between rain clouds and get fresh air. Depending on the area you're in, you may still be able to get out for physical exercise. That is the case here in Oregon. We're allowed to go out for physical exercise. Unfortunately, a lot of the state parks and hiking trails are now closed, but some areas are still open to us. Please do keep the social distance. This is really important to be mindful of and adhere to. But getting out, getting fresh exercise is something to help us. I'll be bringing you some more videos and ideas for practice while at home. Personally, I'm looking at this as a government-mandated meditation retreat. So I think a lot of our anxiety, frustrations, and fears can be alleviated if we just change our focus. So instead of being forced to stay away from people, maybe this is a good time that we're asked to look inward to get more time to practice. So in the coming days, maybe even later today, we'll put up some more videos with exercise, meditation, and calming practices that you can do at home. And maybe I can challenge people to do more practice now that they have the time. And if you think of it as an opportunity to practice, then this is something that can actually be a benefit to many more of us, rather than always looking at the tragic side. But do keep in mind all of those who are suffering at this time from the coronavirus, families who are unable to visit loved ones in care homes and hospitals. It's a very unusual time in world history, but I think it also illustrates another truth of the Buddhist teaching, and that is we're all connected, we're all dependent on one another, and this is a good opportunity to see how interdependence works. Our friends and loved ones and fellow citizens in New York are suffering. Our friends in Italy are suffering. Other parts of the world are getting over it, but we are all interdependent and interconnected. And only by adhering to the recommendations of our healthcare officials are all of us going to get through this, or all of us going to be looking back on this and celebrating how successful we were in overcoming it. So I hope this is something that actually illustrates this Buddhist truth for everyone and gives us an opportunity to practice in different ways. So in a very real way, we can dedicate merit. We can actually extend our practice to others by following those recommendations, staying inside, keeping the distance between one another, and slowing the spread of the virus. So that's my message today from the garden. I do encourage you all to get out and get some fresh air. Breathing deeply is only going to help us. Staying inside completely may not be the best thing, but do please maintain that distance and follow the recommendations of your local health officials and government, and doing our part to slow the spread of this virus. Thank you. So I wanted to add this short clip. I was filming this video earlier, and the neighbor's cat decided to come visit. So take the opportunity to check in with all your neighbors, whether they stand on 2 legs or 4.